Surely the presence of love is in this place. I can feel God's mighty power and God's grace. I can hear the brush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of love is in this place. It's a really good thing that your love radiates through your mask. Surely the presence of love is in this place. I can feel God's mighty power and God's grace. I can hear the brush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of love is in this place. In your bulletin, you have lyrics for My Peace, which is a song that I thank Catherine Kelly for bringing to me from the Arlo Guthrie concert some while ago. And here we go. Let's stand up and do it. As it's in quarter, three-quarter time, you can waltz if you want. My peace is all I've got, and I can give to you. My peace with all I've ever had, that's all I ever do. I give my peace to green and black, to red and white and blue. My peace is all I've got, that I can give to you. My peace is all I've got, it's all I've ever known. My peace is worth 1,000 times more than anything I own. I pass my peace round and round, cross hands of every youth. My peace is all I got, that I can give to you. Very nice.
We're good. We know this stuff. We are good. We've been waiting. Good morning, everyone online. Good morning, everyone here in the sanctuary. It's my privilege and pleasure to welcome you to Sunday morning at Unity Skagit Valley. Nice to have Sam and Denise back from their travels. Wonderful photos, wonderful photos. And always nice to have our friends back who we haven't seen for a long time, and that would be Richard Birdsall here. Yay. Yeah, Richard currently lives in Kentucky. He'll be back here in the Mount Vernon area real soon. He's going to come home and live with us here. And yay. I see him most every week, as do the people in our Tuesday class. And when I walked in this morning and he was actually here physically, I thought, boy, this manifestation stuff works. You look at something and there it is in your mind and there it is in manifestation. So how wonderful is that? And our other Richard, we're just so happy to see you, Richard Treston. Thank you. So we do welcome you in the warmth and in the love of a unity. We stand in that aspect of ourselves in community that raises us spiritually, invests us with new ways of thinking and seeing, and allows us to meet the world from a different point of view. The wonderful teachings of unity indeed support us in becoming all that we are created to be. And mostly we live at 10% of our possibility, or when we're really up for it, we're like high in the realm of our possibility, and we experience what they call the kingdom of the heavens, the experience of living in oneness, in unity, in harmony with all of life, being in a place of centered peace and well-being, having a sense of life as flow of infinite possibility, and the experience of living truly in and from the experience of the love of the one presence. There's a safety in these teachings. It's also high risk. There's a great safety in the teachings of unity, a great kind of safety that gives you an assurance that you live and move and have your being in the very breath and heartbeat of God, the presence, the one power, the one life force, the one wisdom, the one light, the one love. We like that. We like to hear that. The one substance through which we are manifesting and creating all things. We like that until it says we have to change our minds. And then we don't like that. And then when it says we need to assume responsibility for, or at least accountability for our state of mind or the way in which we're bringing ourselves into the world, it's not so fun. It brings it right back home to our doorstep, and we begin to explore that and discover that that's a good friend. These teachings bring us into a place of new understanding, and those challenges are our good friends. They bring us to a different state of awareness if we allow it to be so. The message of unity. There is but one presence and one power, active in your life and in mine. God, the good, omnipotent. Merle Fillmore wanted to come to church this morning. She pulled me right to her books. And I opened the first page of the book, How to Let God Help You. And she said, "This is my faith. I do not believe in evil. I believe in good. I do not believe in sin. I believe in truth. I do not believe in want. I believe in abundance. I do not believe in death. I believe in life. I do not believe in ignorance. I believe in intelligence. There are no discords in my being. Being is peace. My faith, understanding, and love are becoming one. My faith, understanding, and love are becoming one. What therefore God hath joined together, let not man put asunder." 1897. Yeah. Powerful teaching. Powerful teaching. Discovered from within. Discovered through the experience of moving within and claiming her divine inheritance. The legacy of Myrtle Fillmore is what we're all living and studying and coming to understand more deeply for ourselves. Our daily word this morning is Heather. Joy. Joy is our daily word, our word for the day.
Hi, everybody. Oh, we can hear me. Oh, good morning, and it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, isn't it? It's wonderful. Joy. I carry joy in my heart. My many happy experiences and memories may lead me to feel joyful, but I know that they are not the source of my joy. One of my divine gifts, joy is part of my spiritual identity, as close to me as my next breath. Joy wells up and spills over within me when I bring my awareness to my spiritual nature
Okay.
and to my oneness with all good and all life. It is an attitude I hold in mind and I feel in my heart. The happiness I feel in life depends on my allowing my inner wellspring of joy to come forth. I nurture my joy by maintaining a regular prayer practice that enhances my awareness of God and by making time for things that make me happiest. I go into the world grateful for the joy that resides within me. My gift to share generously. For you shall go out in joy and be led back in peace. Isaiah 55:12. I carry joy in my heart.
Nice. Thank you, Heather. Can you get there from here? I carry joy in my heart. My friend Martha Creek would say, well, let your face know it. Um, one of Martha's famous lines, well, show your face, tell your face. I thought she makes me laugh all the time. Wonderful teachers who make us laugh. Thank you to our Sunday team, to Jerry and to Ellen, to Chris at the front, to you, Ward, thank you. To those of you who serve in other ways, be they lilacs this morning, thank you, Louise, and other ways that you serve. Thank you, each one, for that. Lilacs, as I was leaving home, there was a tree that had exploded its lilac blossoms, and so very beautiful. Announcements this morning, I have no idea what I don't know, but we need kitchen helpers, I know that. We are requesting that if you can pledge a Sunday every couple of months, it would fill the bill. And we would ask you to meet over by those doors after the service with Gail. She said she'd remember today. So that's a nice thing. Linwood is wanting to have a party in honor of my award. Yeah. Yay. And they want to invite our congregation and other ministers and friends from around the region and area. They're asking me for dates, which is always a little sticky. Do you prefer, if we were going to do something like that, a Friday or a Saturday? Saturday, okay, all right. And if I were to ask them for Saturday, the 1st of July, that would be 4th of July weekend, would it? Would it? Saturday the 2nd. And yeah, that would be 4th of July weekend, so that's not so good. All right, so I'll get into negotiation with them about dates, but y'all are invited, and all the rest who want to be part of that. What a great thing. They called and said, we want to do an honoring party. So there you go. Are you coming my way? Okay. Hello?
Hello. Okay. I
Hello.
forgot something.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
So I want to make an announcement. I do these things, we are halfway in the fundraiser to send Reverend Linda to her award ceremony.
Wow.
And
Yes.
already, we only announced it a week ago. Yeah, so keep your donations going in. We want to send her there and celebrate with her. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Unity will pay our lodging and conference registration, so that part of it is taken care of. Mostly it's flights and some meal money, lunch money. Lunch money. All right, enough of that. No more drama. No more drama. Don't you say that to yourself every day, at least once? No more drama. No more drama. Okay. That it for announcements? Sorry, I forgot, but the daily words are, it takes two of us. Daily words are available for you for purchase this morning. Please visit there. Prayer ministers are always in action on your behalf. The prayer box is over there on the credenza with prayer slips. And the other announcement about what's on that table is if you have changed your address, email address, phone number, mailing address, would you please fill out a new form for the directory team? They are working on that. Yeah, I think that's it. Yes, ma'am.
Just a plug for prayer requests, they're online as well.
Yes. Yes, they are. info@unitysv.org. Absolutely. All right, Mr. Ward. Gail?
Is there a current directory somewhere available in the sanctuary so we can look and see, yes, this is accurate, no, it's not? People don't remember whether they changed.
2019 was the last direction.
That's true.
I can't answer that question, but I'm sure we can find one somewhere. Okay, great. You'll have to do it, because between here and there, there's a reason they're giving me the Myrtle Fillmore Award now. They want to be sure and get it before I completely lose it. Can no longer stand here doing anything but being ridiculous. So there you go. I send my love.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay, so some of you may have a lyric sheet and some of you may not. I picked one without the lyrics to this song because I realized I'm still having trouble with math at this advanced age. And oh well, I cut the paper wrong. But anyway, you'll get it. It's send my love, I send my joy, I send my peace.
I send my love over the mountain. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me. I send my joy over the mountains. I send my joy send my joy over the mountains, and it returns to me. I send my peace over the mountain. I send my peace over the sea. I send my peace over the heavens, and it returns to me, and it returns to me.
We live in that cosmic movement where everything that flows forth returns more powerfully, more wondrously than we could have imagined. I send my joy, my love, my peace, allowing it to move through my full and overflowing heart. Be still. Be still. And know that I am God. Be still and know breathing deeply. Noticing the places where there is tightness or restriction within you. Breathing and allowing the one breath to breathe you. And on the release of breath, allow that energy that's no longer needed to dissolve. Like a balloon rising. I let go and allow the tensions and the restrictions to be released. And I can. Through the power within you, you are able to let go, to move on from those worries or concerns or disturbances that have been heavy in your mind and heart. The divine moving in and through you lifts and releases the things that would trouble your heart, the things that would trouble your body. I can allow the Spirit to set me free. And as I breathe, becoming still, I simply allow Spirit to do its perfect work in me. I watch my breath. I trust. And in that trust, I know that something wondrous is happening within me. Miracles are happening within the energy and flow of the presence in the midst of and throughout my being. I say I and put my hand on my heart, claiming that I am one with the infinite power and possibility of God moving in and through me now, moving around and throughout my life, moving in and through anything that would appear to be an obstacle. I align myself with that perfect flow here in my heart, and I say I, not the human I of limitation, but the I of spirit that I am. I bring my attention to the power as it brings forth perfect guidance, to the presence as it moves forth in limitless wholeness and perfection. In all ways, in this moment and always, I am centered in the One, and the One is centered in me, through me, and as me. I affirm that all is well. I tell myself that. Here, as I place my hand on my heart center again, I remind myself that all is well. Perfect order prevails. Divine harmony is present. I allow gratitude and maybe a hint of a smile as I say thank you. And so it is. Amen.
Oh, that must be me. Okay. So originally, or normally, Steve Mason would be here on the first Sunday of the month, but he emailed me on Monday and said, I have tested positive for COVID. So he'll be here on the 15th. And then I immediately called Steve Ellis, and he says, dude, I tested positive for COVID. So here we are. Okay. I just got my 4th shot on Thursday, so don't even think about it. I got to find the right sound here. That's it. Well, I'm trying to match your topics, but as you know, it's a fluid situation. So I'm going to go with what I had first. Okay. And this is kind of where my head is at. I don't know, it's a song I learned when I was 16, and I can't believe it still applies. Something's happening here. What it is ain't exactly clear. There's a man with a gun over there, telling me I got to beware. I think it's time we stop, children. What that sound? Everybody look what's going down. What a field day for the heat. 1,000 people in the street, singing songs and carrying signs, mostly say hooray for our side. Think it's time we stop, children. What's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Battle lines being drawn. Nobody's right if everybody's wrong. Young people speaking their mind, getting so much resistance from behind. Next time we stop, children, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Stop, children, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Stop, children, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down.
Nice job.
Thank you.
Yay, you. Good job. You were 16 when that song, yeah. Some of us were a little older than that. Just a touch. Yeah. Oh, young, but not that young. I'm coming. So, Myrtle Fillmore didn't actually write a book. She wrote letters. She worked, she was the originator of Silent Unity's letter process, the originator of everything, actually. But it moved through her. But there are compilations from things that she wrote, and letters and pamphlets and all manner of things. This one's called How to Let God Help You. And then there's another one, the collection of Myrtle Fillmore's healing letters. And they're each innocent in some ways and deep in other ways. Charles Fillmore said the teachings of unity, the way of unity, is deep enough to drown in and shallow enough to wade in, if I remember correctly, or maybe it was the other way around. Shallow enough to wade in and deep enough to drown in. It was part of the whole thinking behind the calling of unity, practical Christianity. It needed to be livable. It needed to have relevance to people's lives. But remember, this is so she wrote the piece about my faith in 1897. So we're talking about a period of time when these ideas really weren't available. And they believed that their ministry was to be in written form and in communication, but certainly not in churches. So her early work was to hold the standard of prayer and to be that, as they call her in another book about her, Mother of Unity. And when they constructed their house, their home, when it was constructed at Unity Village, she said, no kitchen. No kitchen. It's not what I'm here for. No kitchen. Yeah. So at that time, Charles's mother was still living, and she was the provider of some things, but they had created a cafeteria. They created during their lifetime a couple of different cafeterias with vegetarian and very healthy food. So everything was practical, and everything was dedicated to service and prayer from the highest point of view. But someone has written her and said, if my life was like yours, I'd be just fine. Yeah, if I was like you, everything would be just fine. So lest you think that life is always good, you know. I cleaned the litter box and then walked out this morning and stepped in cat throw up in 3 places on the floor. It's like, really? So here are her words in response to whatever this person has said. You say your world is not bounded like mine, with peace and friends and happiness and prosperity, love, plenty, and blessings of all kinds. How do you know what my world is? She was not a pushover. Myrtle Fillmore was a strong, powerful woman who suffered no foolish ideas. If it was outside her understanding of truth, she really didn't have time for the perpetual suffering litany that she said was drilled into us like school drills, like rote learning. She said, I have no time for it. You're using your imagination, she responds, in picturing my world to yourself. You're using the same imagination in bounding and picturing your own world. But see how differently you're using this wonderful, formative faculty. See how differently you think of the people around you than of the people who are around me. Why, of course the reactions are different. You help make them so. People could not break through the boundaries you set, no matter how much they desired to. And so it seems to you that your life is hemmed in and friendless. Your world is sad because you continually think sad thoughts and speak sad words. This is breaking God's law of harmony and joy. You can't feel God's presence so long as you disregard the spiritual laws. What you say, what you think is the world you see. What you are filled with in terms of your creative faculties is that which is most common in your thought and foundational belief base, which is the formulation then of word and thought and then an ongoing manifestation. She said, there's freedom in this. There's freedom in this. The freedom of knowing that if I'm going to continue to set myself up in the same old way, I'm going to continue to experience the same old things. Someone said to me once, we keep going back to a belief structure that doesn't create anything except what we've already known until there is that inner spark, ignition into a realization that there's a possibility I can change my mind. So I told you a story several years about the guy who said yes, who decided on a bus. He was complaining to his seatmate on a bus, and the man said to him, I have employed a technique that really works for me, and I'm listening to you, and what I'm feeling is why you're in the state you're in, and I'm going to invite you to try something, and that would be to say yes to everything. And he said, okay, for a week I'll try it. In the beginning he said it was very difficult, and then as he practiced he got better, and he just automatically began to say yes to everything, even when it was crazy, and even when it didn't seem to have merit, and even when it led him into places he didn't really want to go. Yes, he would respond from that yes place, not it should be different than this, but from the yes place. What? It is as it is. There. See? I worked it in. It is as it is. I thought I wasn't going to get there at all, but there it is. Yes, it is as it is, and that's how he made a decision to meet things. And after a week, it was longer, and after that week, and after the weeks that followed, he discovered that his whole life opened in an amazing way when he was willing to just say yes to it instead of fighting against everything that shouldn't be. Well, that's what she's saying. The use of our creative faculties of imagination and faith and the power of our word, the energetic of our ability to see things from a different perspective is a yes to life, a yes to the fullness of life. She said, to follow up on her words, open your eyes to the inner reality and develop your inner resources. You would not think of closing your eyes and walking around saying that you can't see and don't know where you're going. So why do you close your eye of omniscience, your eye of wisdom and knowing by saying, I don't know what to do? Repeatedly affirm that you do know. You do know. I know. I know. I know through divine wisdom within me. I know what to do, and I do it. And how does it come to us? It comes through something we see or read or something inside that tweaks our curiosity or a piece of paper or something we haven't seen for a long time, or something on a roadside, or something that someone says, and we discover that once, twice, three times we hear the same thing, and we think, oh, that's clear guidance. I had it once, I didn't quite listen. I had it twice, there it was. I had it the third time, and I know that I am right on track. I am following the path of inner wisdom. And then how do I know I'm not? Well, how do I know I'm not? Because not everything, even when we're following the path of divine wisdom, not everything opens up and is clear for us. It isn't that our battery is not dead. It's not that we're find ourselves on the wrong street in the wrong place. It's not that everything moves smoothly. It is that we know that we are in the flow of divine wisdom, and that doesn't mean that there are no bumps in the road. It means we continue to practice what we call obedience to the word, the wisdom, the will of the one, which is always leading us into higher and higher good. And then we learn from the obstacles in the road, or from the bump that we've just tripped over, and we become willing for something to arise that is a teaching, a learning, an understanding, not a mistake, not a breakdown, but a natural course. You flew yesterday? Yeah, 2 days ago? Yeah, whoa. You know, go to the airport, see how that works for you. You've got wisdom to proceed, to do something that is before you to experience, and part of that will be all of the juice that goes with it, and the chaos that arises from it, and the order and disorder that seems to be a part of creativity, because that's the way creativity works. But for us, the choice is, instead of wedding myself to the realization that I have held in the past about such times, I look at it and I think, I can do this. With spirit, I can do this. Of course I can do this. I've always been one of those people who, when I spill the milk or drop the salt shaker, or whatever, one of those kinds of messes that really is a major cleanup job. The first thing that arises out of my consciousness is, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how, I can't do this. It's the first thing that comes up. Not like it never comes up. Like it's the first thing, like, oh my God, it's everywhere. What do I do? And then some part of me that has more vast wisdom of experience says, start somewhere. Start somewhere. Apply where you can the wisdom of knowing. Have to go at it like, gotta handle this whole thing at once. It's like, no, go to the point where you can begin applying a different way of seeing and being with this challenge in your life, whatever that is. Just go to the place where you can apply principles, truth, the I know, through the wisdom of the divine in me. I know, I'm empowered, I'm guided. clarity is dawning, harmony is present. And get there as not with haste, but with that place in you from which you enter into life experience with wisdom. Like, I can't do this. And then you do. You're in the airport. It's like there are millions of people in the airport right now. It's unbelievable how many people are traveling now. It's a place. And everything can flow there as easily as it can flow wherever you happen to be when you made the wrong turn, or when you made a decision that you're not thrilled with, or took some action that really didn't seem to be at the highest and best level. What do you do? Well, start where you can, as is, just from that place. Meet it and do whatever you can to make the smallest application of truth. And then it opens. Well, how will we get from here to there? Well, I don't know. I really don't know. But it doesn't mean the world ended. It doesn't mean that you're not still here with spirit functioning in you, through you, as is always so. When the way seems dark, she said, when the way seems dark, pray for spiritual illumination. I love it. When the way seems dark, pray for spiritual illumination and guidance. And bring all your thought people into the light. It's a wonderful teaching, just that much of it. Pray for spiritual illumination and guidance, and bring all your thought people into the light. How would you do that? Imagine how you would bring your thought people into the light. Charles Fillmore said, your thoughts are people running around in there, carrying out the work for which you have assigned them, or to which you assign them. She said, you'll become a radiant center of light and joy and optimism. People will want to have you serve them. You will inspire success, for others will have confidence in you. Through understanding of spiritual law, you have a potential gold mine to develop. Through understanding of spiritual laws, you have a potential gold mine to develop. Spiritual laws, so I looked at it and I thought, spiritual laws, it's so easy to say things like that. What is spiritual law? And it took me back to the work that Unity did years ago about the 5 principles. And they were working to synthesize what Unity is or teaches or believes in. And they couldn't do it. And so, although they gave the model, every church changed the wording to suit their own way of seeing or envisioning that and bringing it forth. Because Unity people are like that. We can't stand just to let it be what it is. We got to mess with it. And then we call that our more advanced teachings. Because we, of course, want the more advanced model here. But she's talking about these principles God is all. I mean, I went through 20 different versions of the 5 basic principles just to get the ones that hadn't been messed with yet. God is all. God is the source and creator of all. Bless his heart. He's singing, happy. Well, there you go. From someone who knows. Neither the birds of the air, right, or the lilies of the field. God is the source and creator of all. There is no other enduring power. God is good and present everywhere. Could you trust that in the experience as it is right now, that presence of good is present with you? Could you trust that? Because that's the place where it all begins. Can I trust that there is something at work in this moment that is unseen, unfamiliar, and yet has to be present, or nothing could be present? Has to be in the midst of this moment, because without that there would be no thing at all. Not you, not problem, not challenge, not obstacle, not opportunity, not possibility. If that were not the truth, nothing could have ever come into being in the way we know and understand it to be so. To say, I don't trust that the work is going on in me in the place I find myself now as it is, in the way it is to deny all existence for all that has ever been and all that will ever be. It's the greatest question we can live with and explore and live with and utilize in and through everything. There is only the presence at work here now. Now, on top of that, we load everything. Okay, we've got the couch and the stove and the kitchen and the garage and the car and the kids and the this and the that and the something else. We pile it on and we pile it on and we pile it on and ask, why isn't it working? But she said it very clearly. Things will pile up. But when there's a steadiness of knowing, not a complete perfection of knowing perhaps, but a steadiness of knowing, then everything we touch or that touches us has an opening in the midst of it, whereby this something is arising to meet the moment and whatever is present there. You are divine. This is the one we fight even more than the first one. We're spiritual beings created in and after the image of all that is and all that has ever been. The Spirit of God lives within each of us, and we are inherently good. Yeah. It's like, what if you believed it in the way that I'm talking about, with that kind of deep awareness? Like, yeah, it's true. Why? Because it can't be any other way. Because if you are that of which creation has existed for all time, including the stardust and everything that came before in every phase of evolution, and you are the product of that evolution in this moment in expression on this earth in this way as you, it can't be any other way. You are the very essence of that, which has brought all things into being and brought it into perfection as you are now. And we're co-creators with the energy of the creative process, because these minds and these insane thought people that run around in our heads and pollute the environment of our consciousness, you know, our thought people throw garbage around and until we get it and we say, no, not here, not now. We're co-creators. I don't know what you call it, imagineering or the imagination or the faith faculty, or what is it that is our manifestation mechanism. I always believe it's something here in the center of me when I begin to embody something, that it begins to take life and start to become a creative sensation, manifestation. There's power in my prayer and in my words, in what I say, and in what I bring to the world. There's power in it. A creative power, a power that when it's in alignment with Source, builds. And as she's telling this woman, you know, perhaps you're missing the point, that you've created my world in perfection, but you're still holding on to the old sad truths of who you are and how life should be. And the last one of these, if you remember well, is it's great, you know, that it's all so, but if we're not realizing it, not utilizing it, then what good is it? Well, it's good. It's still there. It didn't go away. It's just we're not realizing the blessing of it. There was a time, she said, when my husband was sick and without funds. You would not have seen anything in that early environment and the life of ours to give peace and happiness. We didn't know where we were to get our food or clothes or money to pay our debts. There was no evidence of plenty or prosperity. We didn't have anyone to pray for us or to offer suggestions of truth. These things we had to find ourselves in the heart of God. Those about us thought us more than a little off, she writes, because we talked of God as our health and our supply. But we got well, and we helped others get well. We found that God had ways to provide for our needs. We kept on trusting and rejoicing in the truth that came to us. And we began to make new friends who brought others. So get busy by using the truth you know. Love those about you in a practical way. Pay no attention to what others are doing insofar as to make comparisons. Bring forth your own joyous world of love, friendship, beauty, and plenty. God is giving everything required to build such a world. There is within you the God-given intelligence to build such a world. So get at it, she concludes. Get at it, she said. We say, okay, thank you. Thank you for truths that, yeah. for truths that make us free, a little more free, a little more free. Boy, it's hard to admit that it's my sad thoughts that are making me sad, that cause there isn't really where I can lay my burden down. We all have sad thoughts, and we all have bad days and good days. To say these truths does not mean that we don't have emotions and feelings and journeys and unique experiences. It means that the power hasn't left us. The presence hasn't abandoned us. And in the very heart of whatever it is that we're dealing with, the presence is deeply at work, stirring to bring forth new opportunity and new possibility in the unique and perfect way. See, I'll never get through this phase. And then you look at it and you go, well, I thought that about the last one too, and here I am. And here I go. Here I go. Life is as it is. What I make of it is mine to do. Our blessing, as always, for the wonder of the gifts that you share. All the gifts that you share so generously and in the interest and well-being of our church and our ministry. It's a miracle. We are a living miracle. We're a testament to possibility. And in a time when many churches have really gone through just the tightest, hardest of times. I did a memorial service yesterday in Bellevue. That's my 5th major memorial service, around and about, all the way from Santa Barbara to Linwood to Bellevue, to 5 of them. This was the last one on the list. Praise God. This was the last one. Don't you die. For a really long time. We've got John coming up in September, but it's far away, and I'll be ready by then. But I'll tell you, that church has just suffered. And I was there and I thought, it just doesn't even feel alive in the building. You know, they have a large building, and just didn't even feel alive in the building. And here you are, and we're filled with vitality, and I'm so pleased to be part of this community. So your gifts make it possible for us to be here ongoingly, and whether you give through info@unitysv.org and give online, whether you mail your donations, whether you drop them through the mail slot in the front door, or whether you give them on Sunday morning in our offering plate that's over by the door, we bless them all the same way whenever they come. For the generosity of our amazing congregation, we will have a new heating, cooling system coming into our building to keep us healthy and strong in June, the end of June. And thank you for your vision, for your consciousness, and for your generosity. It's amazing, and we are so very grateful. So to those who bless us, may we offer an extra blessing this morning of realization that as you keep your heart open to the flow and move beyond all fear, you leave room for this overflowing constancy of good, abundant good in your lives. And for every gift we are grateful. I give joyfully and easily, for God is my source, and abundance is my nature. And so it is. Deep breath. Who knows what this week will bring to our doorsteps? Who knows? But when we affirm that I am centered in the love, the harmony, the order, the divine outworking of good, I bring forth, I call forth incredible things. And as I do so, I remember to give thanks over and over and over again. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Thank you for being here. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful week.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to live. God as Creator, found the harmony. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.